bonjour à tous. Today we'll be doing what we call faux amis. It's an expression in French which means false friends. Literally in English it means false friends. But what it really means is something that looks like what you know or what you're familiar with, but truly it's not the same thing. Yes. So false friends are expressions maybe in English that sound like the same thing in French, but very far from each other in meaning. The first one we know that I know most people use, especially beginners in English, is actually or actual, and the faux ami in French is actuel. Actuel means current or present, okay, not actually or actual. Then we have agenda. Agenda is spelled the same way in French, like in English, like agenda, but agenda refers to a diary or a planner, like your little diary, whereas in English is a list of topics to be discussed in a meeting. So they are faux amis. Next we have déjà. Déjà means already seen in French. It means already seen. Like when you say déjà vu, you've already seen something, okay? But in English it can also mean, but in French, sorry, it can also mean ever. For example, je ne l'ai pas déjà vu. I have never or I haven't seen him yet. Je ne l'ai pas déjà vu. I have not seen him yet. Okay, so déjà is also in English, but it only means already. But in French, it has an extra meaning, not just already, but also maybe ever or even never. Then we have embarrassé. Embarrassé. Now, embarrassé does not mean embarrassed, even though it looks or sounds like the same thing. It is something completely different. Embarrassed, you know, when somebody is embarrassed, person is ashamed, okay, or self-conscious. But in French, embarrassé means to be inconvenienced. Okay, when somebody makes you, when you feel inconvenienced, that is what it means. Then next we have poison. Poison in English, which is spelled with one S, and we have poisson in French, the same spelling but this time with two S, that's double S. So where you have one S in poison, in French is two, that's double S. Poison is something that's harmful when taken by maybe a living thing. You know, this food is poisonous, this food is not safe, thing is not safe, it's poison. But in French, poisson means fish. Poisson means fish. We're going to a bit of Spanish where we have actualmente. Actualmente is just like in French where we have actuel. Actualmente means currently, just like actuel in French means currently, but actual in English doesn't mean currently, okay? And we have embarazada. Embarazada. Embarazada means pregnant. Ella está embarazada. She is pregnant. Okay, so embarazada does not mean embarrassed. The same thing, embarrassé in French does not mean embarrassed, but it means to be inconvenienced. And for Spanish we have gravamen. 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 Gravamen means burden or encumbrance. Something is a burden to you. It means an encumbrance. But grave in English could have two meanings: a place where you bury a dead person, or also something serious. It's a grave situation, it's a serious situation. Okay, and we have the word library. Of course, the library is a place where you keep books. People go to read a book, you borrow the book, you return it. Okay, but in French, librairie. 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 Librairie is a bookshop. So you go to buy the book and you don't return it. There are books there, but you go and buy a bookshop. The same thing with Spanish. Libreria. Libreria. Libreria is also the same thing, it's also a bookshop in Spanish. So library, libreria, and librairie, not the same thing. So stop there with our faux amis. So you now, with this class, I hope you've been able to differentiate these false friends, these faux amis, in Spanish, in English, and in French. Remember, actualmente, actuel, and actual, embarrassé, embarazada, and embarrassed, they are not the same thing. So if you have, or if you've heard of any other word in Spanish or in French that sounds like something in English, let me know in the comment section below. And keep learning, keep trying to learn new languages, keep communicating. Ensure you follow our Fastest Finger Friday, where we call out airtime in different languages. So it's, if you're in Nigeria and you use MTN, Airtel, Glo, or 9 Mobile, yes, you could win some airtime for the weekend. Okay, adios, au revoir, and goodbye.